What's the most ridiculous thing you've ever heard someone brag about? Everything seemed normal until suddenly my coworker Jake started bragging that he could sleep with his eyes open. We laughed, thought he was kidding. But one morning, he didn't move, just sat there eyes wide, not blinking. We called 911. Turns out Jake had been dead for hours. The creepiest part? The security cam showed him stop moving, exactly when he said he could. What's the smartest dumb decision you've ever seen? My roommate walked in with a brand new car. He'd spent his entire savings on it, and I thought it was the dumbest decision ever. He could barely pay rent. But that night, as we were driving, a drunk truck driver swerved straight into our lane. His dumb decision, the extra thick steel frame of that car, took the full hit. We crawled out alive. That dumb decision, it saved both our lives.
What's the funniest thing someone's ever blamed you for? There was this kid in my class who wouldn't shut up about his brand new iPhone. He showed it off constantly, like he was the only person on earth who had one. I had the same exact model, but I never bragged. Just used it quietly, like a normal person. One morning, he walks into class, reaches into his pocket, and freezes. The phone's gone. He starts panicking, tearing through his bag, his jacket, everything. Then he suddenly spins around and stares at me, and I knew exactly what was about to happen. Before I could even react, he snatches my phone out of my hand, shoves it in his pocket, and yells, "He stole my phone!" The whole class turns toward us. The teacher doesn't even ask a single question, just says, "That's enough. Head to the office, both of you." So there I am, sitting in the office completely stunned, while this kid gives the performance of a lifetime. He's always been jealous. I saw him take it. He was acting weird all morning. Meanwhile, I'm just sitting there in disbelief. Finally, the principal looks at him and says, "Take out the phone." He hesitates, then slowly pulls it from his pocket like it's going to prove everything. But when he tries to unlock it, the password's wrong. He tries again. Still wrong. Now he's sweating. And then, from inside his own backpack, a ringtone starts playing. The principal just turns to him and raises an eyebrow. He didn't even need to say anything. It was the most awkward silence I've ever experienced. The kid ended up getting suspended for trying to frame me. But once he was back, anytime he pulled out his phone, someone in the class would whisper, "Watch out, the thief might be sitting right next to you."
What's the most unserious reason you've ever started beef? There are two Starbucks on the same street near me, literally walking distance apart. Same logo, same menu, same vibes. And for some reason, that fact alone made me wake up and choose chaos. I walked into Starbucks A and asked the barista for the most fun drink you can make. No limits, no guidance, just vibes. They understood the assignment immediately. What they handed me looked like a science experiment that accidentally became art. Colors I didn't know existed. Toppings everywhere. I was genuinely impressed. That's when I made my first mistake. I walked into Starbucks B holding the drink from Starbucks A like a trophy. I casually mentioned that the other location said they make boring drinks. I didn't accuse anyone directly. I just let the words sit in the air. The reaction was instant. You could see the competitive switch flip behind the barista's eyes. She looked at the drink, looked back at me and said, "We can definitely do better than that." What followed was pure escalation. They created a drink with what felt like 15 ingredients, layers, textures, a color that does not occur in nature. It was less beverage and more statement. The genuine shock on my face said everything. At that point, it was no longer about caffeine, it was about pride. Now I stood outside with two drinks from rival Starbucks locations, realizing I had unintentionally started a cold war between franchises that absolutely did not need one. One drink was complicated, chaotic, and aggressive. The other was simple but radioactive. So I ask you, Reddit, which one is more fun?
Teachers, what's the funniest way a student has ever tried to cheat on a test? So it was just a regular test day. Everyone had their heads down, scribbling away, and the classroom was dead silent. I figured I'd take advantage of the peace and sneak in a quick nap at my desk. Then about halfway through, I started hearing this strange tapping sound coming from the back of the room. It wasn't a pencil tapping or someone bouncing their leg. It sounded weird, like someone was trying to unlock a vault or send signals to aliens. I look up and see Jimmy, the dumbest kid in the room, just staring at his desk. No answers written, not moving a muscle. He looked like he was completely lost in thought. So I walk over, and when I get there, I see that his entire desk is covered in little dots and dashes. I'm standing there like, what on earth am I looking at? I ask him, "Jimmy, what the hell are you doing?" And without missing a beat, he goes, "I'm using Morse code to get the answers from Einstein." I blink. "From who?" He nods, completely serious, and says, "He's helping me with question 9, but the connection's kinda slow today." At this point, I'm trying so hard not to laugh. I tell him he needs to stop or I'm giving him a 0. He just shrugs and goes, "Absolutely not. You don't just hang up on Einstein mid-convo." Honestly, I let it slide just to see where this would go. 30 minutes later, the bell rings, the kids leave, and I sit down to grade the tests. Jimmy, he literally got every single question wrong. The next day, I slap the test with a big fat 0 on his desk and tell him to head to the office. As he walks out, he tapped out one last Morse code message, salutes the desk, and goes, "Another day, another battle lost, but the war ain't over, General."